Hello and welcome to episode 24 of our Timberborn Update 6 Waterbeavers playthrough here. Cycle 25, day 16, 5 days left in a bad tide, where last time we attempted to fix some stuff, failed to get the balloons going correctly, and just generally encountered frustrations. But it's a new day. We're going to solve problems because I've figured out how to do stuff. I know, shocker. So basically, let's hit pause. The district thing, I think, was mostly just me psyching myself out with all these different options and not understanding what the heck any of this stuff was. But it is still possible to just have a normal district crossing, which I will be placing probably right about here, and then just a normal district. All these specialized things we'll mess with later, but I have confirmed in testing that putting a separate district over here will, in fact, get the scouting balloon to do scouting activities, and will not kill all of these beavers here, as long as I have stuff set correctly. So let's make that our priority. Let's go ahead and get that set in motion. We're going to go ahead and put a four-way district center, not connected to the paths, but close enough where it's not going to be a pain in the butt to get it set up. We can still build this before we actually make it a separate district. So putting another thing right here is going to require disconnecting these paths, but that won't be a problem because by the time this is finished, we'll be able to just bring that back out. So that's how that's going to work. That's going to solve the balloon problem, and then this will just automatically export everything. By everything, I mean the green peas and whatever comes from the balloons, as long as we have somewhere to put it. So the scouting balloon, the sky exploration points, don't need to be exported to this other main district area because they're going to be consumed by this balloon in order to give us whatever we're getting from here, which is the exotic seeds. So what we need to make sure is that this balloon trader landing pad is constructed, ideally before the districts are split, because it's going to be a pain in the butt with a small district. So let's unpause that. This is already set, ready to go. But we just have to bring the rest of this stuff in here, get that built, so on and so forth. Let that be what it's going to be. And then we have to have everything that is going to be exported for this, which, taking a look at our balloons, is going to be spicy soda and methane. We have a thing for spicy soda right here. We're not currently making it, so that's why that's empty. Methane is a little bit more complicated because it does require us to research the gas tank. And it's 136 science what we have, 120 to research this, so we can get there eventually. I'm not worried about that quite yet. But that's going to take care of that, at least for right now, and then we won't have to worry about too much else for a decent amount of time. Other stuff we need to take care of, though. This rudimentary sawmill currently cannot run because there's nothing flowing through here. So suggestions from last time from a couple of you were to build a second one connected to this set of water wheels. And we can do exactly that pretty easily. It even lines up nicely, just like this. Just pop that guy right there. Very, very simply, we can put in a regular platform. Although I only have so many of these, and I don't want to... no, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. No sense in sitting here just whining about it. Just go ahead and have them build that, have them build that. Remember that our district crossing is going to be here, so this will technically not be in the way. We're working with what we got here, okay? It's a process, right? How many times have you heard me say that? But this is going to require that we have access up to the doorway, which, thankfully, since we have the spiral staircase now, is not going to be that big of a pain in the butt. We just have to be able to actually do it. We also could take this slope that they're currently using and use it to our advantage with the help of something very, very simple like this platform here. Just get that hooked up right like so. And now that's connected, and we can even come back here with a small pile, like we've done over here, and put in crude saw blades so it's nice and convenient. And then the rest of the space here we do have somewhere for the tiny little pieces of wood and planks to go in. That's going to help solve all of those problems. But remember, folks, this is not a tremendous priority. It is definitely something that should be a priority at some point, but it is not the biggest priority. So I'm going to deprioritize all of this so they focus on building this, which means we have to undeprioritize that. But the biggest priority needs to be this, and then once that's built, and I guess this needs to also be regularly prioritized, then we'll put into district crossing here. So that takes care of that. We also, if I can click on this, have this medium mine that just needs planks, which, you know, is not going to happen while we're in a bad tide until that other thing is built, and I would much rather prioritize the district stuff. So this will be waiting, but when it is finished, it will be making quartz. And we will need to have somewhere to put said quartz. So I'm going to build a medium warehouse, and because this is a space that exists, I'm going to fill it with quartz. That will help tremendously. As a reminder, the medium mine does consume some pickaxes, tools, whatever you want to call them. So it would probably be smart for us to have a little storage of tools here, which I just need to confirm do actually fit in one of these. And that can be very, very simply, I guess, just popped right there. That should be okay. Set to obtain. Actually, no, I don't want to do that because then it's going to be a problem. So that's going to help with this. Of course, once we get the quartz, it has to go over here to our factory, which currently is set up to make medium cauldrons. We don't need to make any more of those. We need to have this making the laboratory glassware. And all it needs else from the quartz is methane, so that should not be a problem to get that filled up. We have plenty of it. That's going to be okay. Why is the game still paused? Because if it wasn't paused, we would run out of water and bad things would happen because I am distracted. Well, it's not distracted. It's just prioritizing something else. I'm talking about what we're fixing and then setting it up before we hit play, which is something some of you have been asking for a long time. But I digress. That's going to solve most of our issues over there. I paused the cooking house last time, and a bunch of you were like, hey, why'd you pause the cooking house? Because you basically get free drinkable stuff. Well, it was kind of one of those water panic things, because we don't have a whole lot. And the amount that we have right now, this says 7 days to deplete. It's going to be gone faster than that, just because we have all these other things using it in different ways. We are going to have to just pump all of this, not only because we have, you know, some bad water in here that's going to have to be allowed to evaporate, but we just need to have as much water as possible. And it's only 5 days, bad tide. It's not going to kill the crops that are, well, important not to kill. These we've already lost a bunch of times. We already have a ton of rice that we're not even using all of. And we have 581 lotus flowers. I'm not going to be super mad if these die again. I'm not going to sacrifice everything else to keep these alive. So all of this, water pump upgrades, so on and so forth, will need to be turned back on. We have these homeless beavers. Might as well just have that turned on. Might as well just have that turned on. Get all of this turned on so we can solve all of those problems. Or at least kind of mitigate them. Just let that even out. And pause again so we don't have any other bad stuff happen. Because we've got to talk about what's going to go on here. I briefly mentioned putting in a dam in this area so we could try to keep this stuff from getting pumped out. And I think overall that's probably a good strategy to have. I don't know if it needs to be prioritized right at this exact moment, but we definitely can look into that long term. It might make more sense instead to just put something like that right around here-ish, if we can make that work, but that is something we're going to have to eventually get going on. Also, we can blast out underneath where these pumps are so they have a little bit more volume to pump from. We can deepen this river a little bit. We can deepen this. We can make this all the same depth, the maximum depth of these deep water pumps, which is 6. But currently I have those pulled all the way up. I'm going to undo that just because we absolutely have to have water pumping. I should not have paused, or not paused, done that with those guys. So that's fine. That's what we're working with there. The only other stuff that probably really, really needs to be addressed is going to be how are we going to deal with power during a drought or bad tide for all of this stuff. And that is not something I'm really prepared to think about or solve right now, just because it's going to involve a whole lot of reconfiguring that I kind of don't want to be bothered with. So, unpause, triple speed, let these guys do what they're doing. Remember, we're trying to build the district center before everything is set up so we can have everything all good to go. Minimal problems. The district crossings with the Waterbeavers just import everything by default, so we are going to have to configure that. Although, in the brief amount of testing I did do before reloading the game and hitting record on this, I didn't have any big issues. It's just, you know, they're importing way too much stuff and they're inefficient about it, but they were importing the stuff they needed at the same time, so that's good to see. All just a matter of making stuff work for us with the resources that we have. And really, really, really trying to prevent any more bad water from coming in here, so that's a thing. This honestly should have been moved one block this way, but I'd already built all this and I wasn't going to redo it. So that is the size of it. Now remember, we have the super fertilizing irrigation tower bath blueprints here. We don't need this guy to be making any more of those, which is why he's gathering the ENS blueprints, but still missing a couple of planks, and then that can start. And then, once that's taken care of, we can pop this guy back over to scaffoldings, or we can just pause it entirely and, you know, keep a few beavers from not having to be born. If that's even the correct way to word that, I don't know. Words fail me. This one is making scaffolding, does not have a whole lot of planks because we're not making a whole lot of planks. It's all just a process that takes time. So yes, we're waiting on planks here. We're waiting on planks everywhere. That is the way of the world in the Waterbeavers until we have all of our other problems solved. We don't have other screw press axles ready to go. This one still technically has one, but it's not going to last too long. So we can't take this guy off. He's almost halfway through making another one. These guys making planks cannot because there is an excess amount of sawdust. Let's not forget, we can turn the wood burner on, and we can just burn excess sawdust. I always forget. These guys I have on slow speed instead of fast speed, because fast speed is not as efficient for what we're trying to do. Kind of hard to keep up with a lot of this stuff sometimes, to be perfectly honest with you, but it ends up working out, in the end, totally fine. Like I said, 3.5 days, I think we're going to be fine just continuing to pump, because we really need to make sure we have more water stored, and ending a bad tide or a drought with 0 water is not going to be any manner of helpful toward that goal. These guys will survive 2-ish days without water, so if we can make it that long, then that's good. If not, again, it's fine. This is never going to be polluted again. It's just going to be, you know, dry, which is not the end of the world, but definitely not helpful. Other stuff we need to do, and we're going to run this out of water probably within the next day or so, but we need to upgrade these water pumps to this advanced one, the deep water pump. But like everything, it requires planks that we are not currently prepared to have, which is part of the reason why this is also being constructed. Just a matter of priorities, getting everything else taken care of as we can. Everything is here with the exception of, well, surprise, surprise, planks. And I know we have the rest of the stuff. It just has to be brought over. Let's go ahead. I guess this isn't even really being super, super helpful. We just need to get these guys to take the sawdust somewhere else. And it looks like they are doing that. It's a process. It always is. You know the drill. The unfortunate reality of this is that there is bad water here that we can't really get rid of, which is why, thank you email client, I forgot to exit again, which is why I'm pumping continuously and not turning this off, because when it's only bad water left, that will eventually evaporate, and what doesn't evaporate is going to be washed out when everything comes clean. So far, though, we're looking good. 2.5 days left, and the amount of water we have is pretty low, but I think it's going to be fine enough. There is this one blockage that I really should get rid of. I don't have a good path to get into it, which is why that hasn't happened yet. But if this guy goes away and this guy goes away, especially, then I can blast this down. This will be the same height as half height of this floodgate dam, which means we'll get clean water here a little bit quicker once this goes into normal mode. Okay, these trees need to be splashed. I will go ahead and turn this back on, just so they don't die. Everything else is looking okay. I know we need to plant a bunch more stuff, especially cabbages. We will get there when everything makes that possible. But let's just turn that back off, because those have been fixed. This is still waiting on planks, obviously. The rest of this has not even been remotely gotten to yet, but probably because they're working on this. Planks, planks, planks. Everything is the fault of the planks. Always has been, etc. So, I guess that's maybe a good thing that we don't have that, because there is still bad water down here that I don't want the beavers to be basking in. Yeah, why is this contaminated now? Because, I didn't think that was a problem. Maybe this just ran out temporarily? That's probably what it was. Okay, so these these are now completely dry, 1.6 days. Yeah, see, 2.7 days. That's fine. It can last that long. The rice will also last that long. Things are looking okay. Not looking fantastic, but a day and a half and we still have 1,500 water left? That is, well, I'm not going to say great, but it's promising. The cooking house, again, remember, makes quote-unquote free drinkable liquid, so it's good to have that going. But now that this is empty, we can pause these upgrades that are doing absolutely nothing, get a couple of our vacancies under control. We got so many of these things to attend to, we just kind of can't yet. Everything else, though, looking pretty good, or good enough, rather. These guys can still pump. It's just polluted. And thankfully, there's not a lot of pollution in here. This is just, unfortunately, going to be polluted, and it's going to have to naturally disappear. It is what it is. Not too much we can do about that. I don't even dare check and see. Yeah, see, nothing happened here. Well, at least we've got the logs, we've got the pine resin. We were only waiting on planks for the balloon trader landing pad. That is, I guess, to be expected. The rest of this, yeah, they haven't even done anything, but I did deprioritize it, so I can't be mad about it. They are doing exactly what I requested, and they're working on this, which just needs a little bit more logs, and then we'll have planks come back in. That'll help get stuff solved. This I paused because it was going to consume planks that we didn't have, and I didn't want those to be holding anything else up. It's fine. It is what it is. This water wheel will need to be actually built. I removed this because I was worried about flooding, and then I was informed that that's not how Update 6 works. It was just a panic response, and that it was actually the fault of these things here. So I'm glad we could all agree on that. That's looking fine. I'm just happy the food hasn't completely collapsed yet. Even though we've had this thing paused for so long, we still have 1,100 rice balls, so that seems to be doing just fine. These guys are continuing to make mushrooms. I think that's the key. We haven't had to shut that off yet. These are still looking fine. We're going to have absolutely no problem getting these wet inside of a day and a half, because this water is not being pumped out at all, and we're not out. It's nice when stuff gets fixed to the degree that it is able to get fixed. Always, always, always a good feeling. And see, now all we're waiting on is planks. And of course this is way behind a whole bunch of other stuff too. But we will get there, all in due time. And it is now the eve of the good tide coming back in, and we will be able to get all of the stuff going once again, and we still have 1,000 water in place. I think we might finally be past all of the infinite water woes, but we can't let up. We have to keep pumping as much as we can. So here comes that temperate cycle. Let this water flow clean and clear, and then take this down. This one here is already just about clean enough, and I'm going to go ahead and say that's good to go. There's a little tiny bit of nasty here, but it's not going to kill anything. And now these have been splashed. Everything is fine. I'm not going to say perfect, but good enough for right now. Now all the unwashed beavers can wash once again as soon as this gets removed, which it has been. Looking good. Let's immediately turn on the rudimentary sawmill, because that absolutely must be going. Get all this stuff taken care of. Very, very, very good. So in that time, we did manage to make a couple planks here, so I'm glad we had that. This is still making screw press axles. Probably needs to keep making those for the time being, just so we don't have any more panic about the screw press not working. We did plant a whole bunch of... Okay, this is annoying. This building that says it needs water, just continuously cycling. But it seems that's done now. All of these sunflowers that we planted will slowly slowly start making this number a little bit better. We don't actually have a storage for sunflower seeds, which is kind of surprising to me. I thought we did, but that's another one of those things I will just have to fix. This space is empty. This probably should be straightened out. These are at 34%, so I'm not gonna kill them. I'm just gonna unplant them, so that can be straightened out, and then we can plant 3 more sunflower things here. That should be fine. This one still needs to be replanted. Storage for chestnuts, storage for screw press axles. Obviously doesn't have anything going in there. We gotta get a better handle on a whole bunch of this stuff. I just don't have space for it. But this is dead due to contamination, which means we can either put a staircase here so we can get up to this and blast this down, which honestly probably is the correct thing to do, or we can put a storage here. But I don't think putting a storage there is going to be the right thing to do. Let's just, for the sake of getting something accomplished, put this up here. I'm not going to worry about these 5 berry bushes, 6 berry bushes, whatever, because we do have berries over here. We have berries over here. We have berries up here. We're doing okay for berries. I'm going to instead just say, get these things out of here. We'll blast this down, get a little bit more space to grow some stuff like cabbages, for example, and move on from there. But back to triple speed we go. Get this stuff rotating the correct direction. It's very strange. It's all flowing out here, but you know, you keep track, and it actually isn't that strange because I removed all these blockages here. And as a result, these things are going absolute turbo mode. And they are powering exactly one thing because this has not been built yet, while these are comparatively providing a lot less power. So we need to stop all of the stuff from coming out this way, which means that these floodgate dams, or at least one of them, will make a difference downstream, just not right there. I'm going to instead put a single floodgate dam, probably, see, I guess right here is probably going to make the most sense, because this is still, okay, no, maybe not right there. I need a place where it's going to actually still block a decent amount of water. Right here probably makes sense. Put that there, and then I need to put a house next to it. Remember, this is going to be a separate district at some point. That could be a good opportunity to put in a liquid storage house. So let's, yeah, see, that's going to be perfect right there. Just make it a lower priority. They can actually come down here and build all the rest of this stuff. We are pretty close to having this done, so that's good. Still waiting on planks here, but the planks are being made, just at a very, very slow speed as it goes. We have so many injured beavers that we can't do anything with them. This is the disease one. This is the burn one. And this is the injury one. We don't have the half-fermented sake available in here because it's not prioritized by haulers. That's my fault. That'll get fixed. I gotta have space to put these things. So we're going to have to build some sort of a scaffolding or something over here. But we are dangerously low on scaffolding, speaking of. That's something we're going to have these guys continue to make after this is done. But hey, guess what? 12% of the way to having the ENS architectural blueprints. That's a big victory. Obviously, gears are still important. We need to keep making those, but they need planks. Surprise, surprise. Who would have ever guessed? But it is what it is. I don't think this needs to be super prioritized at this exact moment in time, so I'm going to deprioritize that. This is ready to go, but this is not ready to go. I'm going to instead, seeing how this is working, prioritize all of this so we can actually have a rudimentary sawmill that works. We should be able to build this pretty quickly. I am reasonably sure. Still waiting on planks. Yeah, we absolutely have to get that done first. But food is still at 1900, even if half of it is rice balls that we aren't making anymore. Or at least right now. Things are looking okay, folks. We're not looking fantastic, but we're not looking terrible. Better than last time. 53 planks remain. This is absolutely crucial that this gets built as soon as possible. All these are looking so good. This, I guess, can go ahead and be turned back on. It just, there's so many incapacitated beavers. It's really, really not working to our advantage here. I don't see that many signs of pollution here. Obviously there's a little bit, but all things considered, should be pretty okay. Still waiting on this to get taken care of here. Obviously the planks are going to be an issue for a while, but that's fine. We're working on it. We're getting stuff done. I am kind of surprised how much power this is still making, even though there's almost no water moving through here compared to these two. Yeah, here we go. Now we just need the logs, and we do have them. So we know that's going to be a thing. That hasn't moved at all. No issues there. Taking a look at my my notes here. Most of it revolves around the district stuff that we can't quite get to yet. Or rather, I don't want to get to quite yet, because I want to make sure this is operable first. But I should go ahead and check storage if I have anything earmarked for the lotus flower tea besides the one next to wherever that was. I actually do not remember. So I've got spicy sodas. I knew we had the... Okay, there is one. Okay, just a plank tank for lotus flower tea because that was what went into the recipe for the ENS. So lotus flower tea is probably one of those things we should have in a larger tank, just because it is, you know, a pretty good way to keep the beavers alive if we need to. So I'm going to swap this one over to be a tank for lotus flower tea, just so we have somewhere to put a bunch of it, and these guys can bring it somewhere else. Honestly, I'm going to put it here. I lied. This is going to be for water. It just makes much more sense for this one, the closer one, to be the one making lotus flower tea, or for storing it. Alright, got a couple of logs left, and this will be operating. We do have crude saw blades. We probably need to make some more, so let's go ahead and switch this over. They can go ahead and get started on those. Now they have 2 of these to supply. And then, of course, we have these being built that were not prioritized, but I don't think it's going to be a tremendous issue right now anyway. Yeah, still need planks for that. Alright, so, dawn of day 5. Today will be the day the rudimentary sawmill begins operation. We're going to have a whole lot of vacancies. That's the way things go. Just got to get somebody to come up here and take care of that. We might have to reallocate some of these jobs here before we get everything else figured out. But, oh yes, that's right. We do have to have this other platform taken care of. But they're building it right now. And it's ready to go. Cool. As soon as we get at least one crude saw blade in here, that will take care of so many problems. And it looks like we have it, and we just have to have logs, and then we'll have planks and sawdust, which we'll have to have somewhere to go, but that is a problem for later. Now we can actually get the rest of this stuff taken care of. And I don't need to build this right now because it's not generating not enough power. It is generating enough power. Let's not use double negatives. But everything is just looking so good, folks. Love to see it. We need more water tanks. I know we just keep bouncing around between different things, and it's probably not ideal, but this guy here is waiting on, bet you can't guess. That's right, it's planks and also tar, but that is a problem that is probably a lot easier solved. We don't have strong alcohol because it's been disappeared. I've been assured by multiple people the beavers don't drink it, yet I have not seen any proof, so I'm going to continue to think that's what's happening. Sorry if it makes you mad. I just... where is it going if it's not being consumed by the beavers? So we need tar. I need 2 or 3 of these buildings, but right now all I can do is just have tar. We still have 700 lotus flowers, despite using this just relentlessly to make lotus flower tea. So many problems, so little time. Okay, 18 planks away from having that complete, and then we just have to have the balloon built, and then I will feel okay separating this into another district. It shouldn't be a terribly big problem. We will have to allocate at least a couple beavers over here. At first, they will, of course, breed to fill the empty spaces, and there's going to be probably, what, 15 of them over here? Maybe more once I build the liquid storage house. I'm pretty sure the location of this is not going to cause any choke point issues, because it's still going to be the same amount of theoretically open spaces as is right here, and that hasn't been a problem. So hopefully That does not cause any issues. 6 planks to go. 2 planks to go. And then, of course, we do have to build this, which we cannot until we have sky exploration points. But we can get everything else in here, including the balloon. That's the big annoying one. And then the problem will take care of itself in due time. They just have to get that finished up. Which looks like that should be today. Just get this guy to finish. And, alright, so now I have to go ahead, disconnect this, come in here with our district crossing, pop that in place. Of course, all the beavers will evacuate this district because it is not connected. Let's go ahead and get this hooked back up. And now we have District 2, which I guess you can submit name suggestions if you like. I don't know that this is going to be a permanent thing, but that's usually what we do when I have separate districts in these games, is I let you guys submit names, and I'll pick my favorites and then put those to a vote, and you guys get to pick. But now they just have to get that taken care of, and then we should basically immediately see this get filled up with everything else it needs, and we'll be just fine. As long as we can keep these beavers alive. We do have a tank for water here, and they will import food. In my, testing before I started recording, it did work fine. If that changes, then I guess I get to look like an idiot, but that's not anything new. Man, we still don't have enough planks. Yeah, I think we're gonna wish we had built this before we separated these districts, but at this point, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get these going. Well, what I can do to help make this not as big of a problem is I can go ahead and put in a staircase here to connect both districts to this general area without connecting the paths, so they can still build from this side. That's probably the best way to do this. Let's go ahead and also set this to 0.5 before it gets built and we have an accidental, on purpose, but mostly accidental flood. Alright. Water-wise, we're looking good. Food-wise, trending upwards. Planks, we are still making. 30% done here. Obviously, the gears are a problem because we don't have planks, but that's what we're trying to solve. We're trying to make them here, and they're just not going super quick. But it's fine. We have 14 crude saw blades. I don't think we need to worry about building too many more of those. I'm going to switch this to tools, because those will start running out as well. One step at a time, folks. One step at a time. Now, see, this is dry, and I don't know why. Well, okay, I have an idea. I have a theory, and that is because all of the water is going out this way. So now this has become an interesting exercise in problem solving, because if I don't fix this and keep water going through this way, then all of these are going to die. The only thing I can really do to immediately solve, quote-unquote, solve that problem is to take this dam out, which, yeah, I got 1 day here, 2.8 days here. See, I really like having these separated so we can't pump this water out. But if I have to, I'll remove this, and then that'll solve that problem immediately. I would just like this to be built first, which we have no guarantee that is going to be any manner of quickness. So I guess that's fine. Water storage actually is almost full, so I really see it's a battle against construction, man. We have to have more water storage, or we can just keep making lotus flower tea. That's also an option. I guess I could prioritize that by haulers. That should help a little bit. We haven't been harvesting rice because we don't need it, so these can stay paused. That's fine. I do like these guys harvesting what they can here. I need to reduce storage in that front. But this is connected around the backside here, which is good. It doesn't really solve a ton of problems currently, but that's nice to have. I do see the comments saying that we should have this connected across here. We should have other methods to get to different spots. We'll get there. We'll get there. It is just a process. And yes, it does, in fact, take time. This is a really, really messy layout. I don't like it, but it's what we have. And currently, that is about the best we can do. So I'm going to go ahead and say, right here, that can get removed. And we can just straight line all of this. Going to be probably the best option. Platforms, of course, going across. Actually, no, we don't have to do that. So I can put in suspension bridges. Except I can't build that one yet. Trying to save these scaffoldings. That's what they're called. I have been informed that in update 7 Waterbeavers, this no longer operates the same way with the clearance on the end, so that can cause some... Oh! Okay, well, I'm officially an idiot, because this has already killed all... Alright, well, there goes that idea. This is why I really should not play on triple speed. Oh, well. It is what it is. They're really not prioritizing this at all, are they? Well, at least this is working... I don't have this one prioritized. This one isn't either, so probably... See, these guys, I mean, they're right across here. I guess I should just have this storage prioritized. Just to receive logs. That's probably what's holding a lot of this back. I could also just build larger storages. It's all stuff that just takes time. Just have to solve a bunch of problems that we can't solve until other problems are solved. You know, standard stuff. How long until all this rice dies? 1.6 days. Is this going to get fixed? Built by then? Not looking likely. Not looking likely. Okay. So that's got to get... Both of these have to get turned back on. Water storage is still somehow not completely full. Sheesh. All this to do. Still don't have district crossing or anything. Well... I don't know why this hasn't been finished then, because this was placed before almost everything else that's currently under construction. I am so curious. Okay, well this bit's almost all here. I mean, I did prioritize this to be perfectly fair. So I guess I shouldn't complain. Just let that be what it's going to be. And this is going to be very important for us to have. Probably as soon as possible. Food is definitely becoming a problem. And I was really hoping that was not going to be the case. I think I'm going to have to turn the cooking tent back on just to keep making rice balls. We do have another almost 600 worth of storage we can fill, and I think we're going to need that. Otherwise, this needed to be set to saltpeter, and I wasn't about to do that. Probably should build another one of those. And now, as a result of all this, we have 20 free beds and we have 23 vacancies. 17 incapacitated beavers. It's all these burns. It's all the burns and all the injuries and stuff we can't really treat because we aren't producing enough of the materials to make it happen. Okay, now the rice over here is dead, but you know what? I don't care. It's fine. It's okay. Died due to not being submerged. Okay, yeah, see, that's what happens. So now we've fully committed to just having this ready to go. But we have all the materials, we just have to get these guys over here to do it. Okay, well, we don't have the tar. The tar is definitely definitely a problem. So let's inspect that. We are waiting on what? Oh, we have all the stuff. Yeah, so why are we not making that? Sawdust. Oh, I gotta turn this off. I left that going too long. Now we have not enough sawdust. Okay, well... Live by the sword, die by the sword. This is now connected. Completely straightened out. That's going to get 3 more sunflowers. They still have not done anything here, which I guess is what it is. But I feel like this amount of sunflowers should be sufficient for us to continue planting just a little bit more cabbage over here. So that's fine. This has been removed enough for this to be viable, I'm pretty sure. The planks, I can't use this many planks. Can't do that. So we're gonna have to hold off on those. So I'll put this in place. This has to be another bridge. I don't want to construct quite yet. But that will get there eventually. How are we looking here? Okay. Yeah, the tar is gonna be an issue. Got to get it figured out. But there's not too much more figuring of it out that I can do without just waiting. So that's fine. Still making lotus flower tea. That's looking good. we have all the materials for this? No, we do not. We're still waiting on planks, which is also still waiting on planks. This is still waiting on planks. Okay. Everything is planks. The entire thing is just planks. That's the way it goes. These guys just have to do more work. All right. These guys, scavengers, still have a little bit to take care of here. I guess that's fine. Things are looking okay. Don't really have too much reason to complain, honestly. We're just trying to get stuff accomplished. Not too much else we can do. I know well-being is a very common thread here, but without investing a lot of resources I really don't have, I can't build as much as you think I can. Just cannot do it. Rooftop terraces would be the easy one if I had a good place to stick any. I mean, it's getting better now that we have access to the spiral staircases and all that, but I am very hesitant to build on top of buildings because I feel like I need to be stacking stuff. Oh. This I forgot this works on top of the rooftop, not the natural overhangs. Okay, well that solves that problem in that exact space, which I guess is progress. I'm going to build that there. I'm going to demolish all of these because this is not something that needs to exist anyway, but for right now it still does, and that's why I'm going to use it. That just needs to get connected there. Boy, we could have got a lot more stuff in here if I would have, you know, used my brain a little bit more. I stand thoroughly corrected. Do I want them to be able to walk across here? I guess I could make a path that goes all the way over here. That might actually not be a bad idea. It's not going to be the most, you know, efficient path anywhere, but why not, right? Why not? There's no reason that the dog can't play basketball. Would I say that all the time? Sometimes you just gotta do stuff for the sake of doing it. And yes, I know we have not enough planks to make all of this work, but you might as well make the connections you can make when you can make them, you know? Just for the heck of it. This would also be a very good place to connect over here once we have all the rest of this taken care of. Look how easy this is. Oh, I feel like the woman in that magic sponge commercial. Oh, don't make me post that again. But this, yeah, I'll just leave that there. It's fine. It'll work. Yeah, we're still nowhere close to having this done. Oh well, life goes on. We have 109 planks though, so I guess that's fine. Water is probably solved for a long time. Food, however, is absolutely in free fall. And it's the green peas. It's the green peas because this district is disconnected. And this somehow still has not been built. Alright, this is now priority number 1. I no longer care. I no longer care about the floodgate dam or anything. Just build this. We have to get these things because it's holding up our production of one of our best foods, and I hadn't even realized it. Yeah, green peas, absolutely a menace. But we have these guys, at the very least. I know we need to plant more. I'm going to dynamite this when we have the resources to do it. It's just, it all hinges on having another alchemist. Everything ties back to everything. That's the way Waterbeavers works, man. Just got to get it done. We still don't have any planks here. I know this is probably because this is disconnected, but there we go. That's what I wanted to see this whole time. Just get this thing figured out, because we're going to get that warning probably the next day, next 2 days. And that's really going to affect what we got going on here. Yep, there you go. 3 days until we have a bad tide, and boy, is that going to be an interesting problem for us to solve. But fortunately, we have enough water to last the entire maximum length of a bad tide with 166 beavers. Yes, we need more, but I will absolutely take where we are now. Okay, let's hit pause. Our favorite button. Look at all these importable goods that are currently mostly set to import. We've got... Well, first of all, we have to click on the correct one. We've got to absolutely must stop importing stuff we don't need. Bad water, we don't need. Basic balm, we don't need. Clay, we don't need. Coal, pretty sure we don't need. But we can turn it back on if we want to. Comic books, that's a well-being thing. I guess it's always going to import them, but we're not making them anyway. Dirt, we're not making it anyway, but I'm going to turn that off. Dynamite, we will want. So I'm going to have that say import as needed, not force import, because we still are going to need it more in the main district. This stuff is fine. Gears we're going to need. We're never going to need gold over there. Not going to need iron. Not going to need salt. Paper we might. These we probably will. Quartz, no. If we have to, we'll turn that back on. Nope, nope, nope. Sawdust we almost certainly will at some point. This we're not even making. Blah, 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 blah. Food I'm not going to touch because the beavers do need to eat, and this, in my experience, has been pretty good about distributing food without messing with stuff. Honestly, the rest of this is probably fine. It's just the really expensive stuff and the stuff that is not going to be actively needed for construction we don't want to mess with. So, blueprints. Unless we absolutely must build something that requires a blueprint, we are not going to have them turned on. The unfancified blueprints absolutely need to be turned off. Absolutely no reason to be importing those. I know the specialized district centers, whatever, probably have a thing that automates all this, but we're taking it one step at a time, folks. I'm not subjecting myself to the whole, oh, I didn't know that we're going to have this horrible thing befall us. Super fertilizing irrigation tower bath we might want to have at some point, so I don't have a problem importing those. Oversized water pump we probably are going to want to have dedicated in this district at some point. Mechanical drill we absolutely are going to want to build over here, so that's fine. Large farmhouse, yeah, okay, we can import some of those. But I need to have a limit. I still don't know what that slider does, so guess what? I'm just going to ignore it. Let's see. Washing machine, I guess we're probably going to want one, but I'm going to have all of these probably just set to... Okay, floodgate dam we might actually want it. But I don't want to run out in the main district of all this stuff, so I guess... Okay, the balloon trader landing pad one, though, that does need to absolutely be imported here. Let's... See, I don't have the requisite confidence to just barge into this head first. But I think that's probably gonna be fine. Yeah, we'll just rock with that. Okay, so single time speed, make this a little bit easier. We have 0 beavers here. We have 15 slots. I'm gonna do. Let's start with 4 adults. That is going to give us a worker here, a worker here, a worker here, and a worker here. That is pretty much all we need for right now. And they will, of course, reproduce and all that. But it will be absolutely shocking to you how quickly this scouting balloon gets off to, well, scouting. And if it doesn't, then I get to look stupid, which I guess you guys seem to like. But it worked when I did it at this point an hour and a half ago, so... Let us just retain the small shred of hope for our beavers here. Hey, there it goes. Look at that paper coming in, pencil sets, and soon we'll have the sky points. And then that will take care of this. Cool. This district does also technically have water. We have a storage for it. We will need a pump. We will get there in due time. I think it's going to be... Wait, why is this not... Oh. Well, there's your problem. Okay. This does not need 10 beavers in it. Let's go for 5, making quartz. And then that's going to give us, just in time to not have any power over here, I'm going to go ahead and get the factory going because that's going to be really important. 3 hours to get 5. Okay, well I'm going to have to have these guys like gangbusters in here. All right, what can I pause to staff the mines? Gonna be water pumps because we have super full water. There we go. Now I've created a... Oh, I actually don't have a beaver homeless crisis, but now I have 39 vacancies. Probably because of, you know, this mess here. But we should be getting quartz. And I did have to turn this one back on. We don't have the materials for this yet. Oh, there's just so much going on. So much going on. And they're eating the rice balls. So you know things are a little tiny bit desperate when they're doing that. 64% of the way through that, which is good. Still working on getting all of this taken care of. I mean, I can't complain they're making this stuff because I told them to, but maybe a little bit out of priority here. So, bad tide means this needs to be open anyway, so I'm not going to be worried about that. This will need to be closed, which is going to cause problems, because then we won't have any power. Live by the sword, die by the sword. At least we have this, which will keep making planks, at the very least. That's good. That's good, although I really should have this one finished before it becomes too dangerous to do anything with. I'm gonna turn that back on and prioritize it. All right, quartz-wise, we did make 5. Hooray! Progress. You know, it only takes 12 days. 12 days. It only takes 12 hours currently with 7 workers to make a set of laboratory glassware. Depending on how this goes, it might be possible for us to just barely squeeze it before this bad tide hits, but I probably should not be too cocky about this. I'm just going to keep pausing a couple of these pump things because we're not going to need them for right now, and I would like to, you know, pare down all of the vacancies as much as I can. There's only so much I can really do here. Also keeping an eye on the floodgate again. Yes, simple floodgate triggers reportedly works. No, I will not be installing it. I do not trust that mod. Nothing against whoever made it. It's just, it has let me down way too many times when stuff updated and I just completely forgot about it. I will own my own failures and they will be by my hand, not someone else's. Because then I know who to blame. But there's nobody importing anything here. Oh, they have tea. Okay, that's probably fine. They'll fill all these up in due time. It'll be alright. Hey, we got our sky exploration point, our very first one. Progress. Progress is progress, no matter how slow. Let's get all these people in here. Make this as fast as humanly or beaverly possible, I suppose. Still making gears at the glacial speed. This is still got nothing here, but you know I'm not gonna be upset about it. For the time being, I'm gonna pause this large farmhouse because we're not growing anything that's really that important, and most of this isn't harvestable anyway. I'm gonna send some more beavers over here. Let's give 8. So we can start doing more and more of these jobs and make this go a little bit faster. Just doing what we can. That's all we can do. And we have quartz. It is being very slowly brought over here. But that's the way she goes. There's not really a good direct connection here. Nor can there really be. Well, I could put another staircase here, but they're not going to finish building that in time. And I don't want to encourage them to go through the bad tide with it. Alright, so apparently I misjudged massively. There's no chance that's going to be finished, but we can at least keep going and do what we can do. What are they working on building now? Obviously, they're still messing with this. Okay. Alright, this is not important. This is not important. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. By get that out of here, I mean do not get that out of here because we don't need it. I want them to come and build other stuff that we're working on. Do I realistically have time? Probably not. Probably not. Is it going to make that big of a difference? Because this is a pretty long trek here to go near, just like that, sound effects included. Alright. Fine. I'll build this. But it's going to be strictly temporary, and it's absolutely the most important thing we can be building right now. Well, I have 21 quartz and there's a day and a half, so assuming we actually get all 12 beavers to stay in here to work, it is still technically possible for this to be finished. It just is a matter of how many of these guys we can actually get in to move stuff around. Currently all the factory workers are coming to get the quartz, so that's fine. These guys are, well, they're doing something. They're making it work. Are we going to have this finished, though? We may have to go to longer working days. And that staircase is done. That should really help speed stuff up. I'm kind of reluctant to go to 20-hour days now, but we might for the final day. Try and get this done. We're at 45 quartz, and this should go a whole lot faster now. I'm going to get away with it, aren't I? Now, gloating is not usually a good policy. I would not endorse it in everyday life, but I'm going to be maybe a little bit unreasonably proud if this actually works. 65. How many are left in here? None. Okay. But 65 going into the last day is very, very encouraging. Let's keep this going, folks. Let's keep this going. I know we have that connected, which is really, really good. They need to start on this by about here to have a real shot. Because we can have them work as late as we want. They just can't be in this part of the water when it becomes a bad tide. All right, so we're getting it done. I think it's gonna work. All right, boys and girls. Let's get this stuff in here. I see 70. Do I see 75? Not quite yet. But we're going to get there. We are going to get there. Okay, rudimentary sawmill paused. Water pump paused. Now this has the full, well, as full of the power as we can get it. 85. Come on. Come on. I know you've got the rest of these pieces here. Don't make me a liar. Surprise, 24-hour working hours. 90. 90. Where's my 100? Come on. Come on. Oh, this... Okay, now we're kind of toast. But it's going. It's going. The only problem is this is going to be really, really sketchy. Okay. I've got to disconnect these. This is no longer a viable route. Do not go through the danger. Do not go through the danger tunnel here. This isn't going to work. It's not going to work. Not going to work. That is very upsetting. I am not even going to lie to you. Okay. Oh, man. What a pain in the butt. Okay. That's got to go all the way to... Man. This is, See, that's it. You know, above all else, it just makes me feel bad for you guys, because you obviously are going to be able to tell that this isn't going to work, but I refuse to allow myself to believe that it is impossible. So, it is what it is. Now this is all taken care of, and there's no... whatever. It's fine. I didn't care anyway. Well, this is still going to turn, at the very least, so we can have a... Okay, well, never mind. It's already blocked by bad water, but we can still make planks. Hooray. These guys seem to be surviving okay. Oh, they're just eating the green peas instead of exporting them? That's, I guess that's a problem. Oh, they're not even stocking this for export. They're just eating... Okay. Alright, alright. Well, at least I can pause this now, because nothing good is going to come out of any of this. That is extremely, extremely demoralizing. Alright, so where are we now? I've got 2,600 water. It's only a 4-day bad tide. It could definitely be worse. I was so excited to have this actually working. So many homeless beavers. Can we solve this problem with the population transfer? I think we can. Alright. Let's get a couple more of these guys over in this district. I've got one working here, and now I actually have people in the district crossing, so it should be staffed appropriately. Okay, alright, well, the mine is working. We have quartz. Hooray. But I can definitely take this way down now. And you can also get water from the medium mines, don't forget. It's not a great recipe, but it does allow you to do that. It's just really, 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 really slow. 1 drop of water per hour, which, you know, compared to this guy, is still only a third of what the regular water pump can produce. But I guess if you're up, you know what, creek without a paddle, then, well, actually, if there's no water, you couldn't even be up a creek without a paddle, because you could just walk. Bad analogy. Moving on. So, where does that leave us now? We're an hour into this video. I'm going to get through the bad tide, but I feel like there's still so many little things we've got to fix that we haven't had an opportunity to. I don't want this to be an episode filled with regrets. So, man, I don't have adequate farming space to plant any more cabbages, and I know I need to have that. What is this still waiting on those green peas? That's the wrong building. Yes, it is. We have so much stuff waiting on green peas. I need them. There it goes. There it goes. Importing green peas. Okay. I've got a homeless beaver. If I don't dare unpause this without making sure that is inaccessible. I don't think they're going to go down into the stairs here, because that is no longer a viable path. I'm going to have to unpause this and have them start building. I'm hopeful that they only build from this side and not from this side. If they do, then, well, that's their own fault, and they can deal with the consequences of their bad choices. But the really exciting news is that we almost have the Folktales trading balloon ready to go. We just have to have spicy sodas, which we are not currently producing, because guess what? We don't have bramble flowers. So, I think what's going to make the most sense is for us to produce those in this district where they cannot all be immediately consumed. That's going to require we build a cooking house, which we do have a medium cauldron available. It's just in the other district we will have to have that imported. But there's a bunch of different spots we can place this where it's not going to be super in the way, only slightly in the way. And this is probably going to be the best place for that to go. Water storage here, water consumed here for the production of said spicy sodas. Bramble flowers technically do exist to a certain extent in this district that can be harvested with the help of a gatherer flag. Incorrect. With the help of a lumberjack flag. And this guy can reach all of those. I'm just going to, at first, only mark the brambles. I don't think there's anything else that they can be used for in this district besides making lotus flower tea. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Already lost count. 6, 7, 8 here. And I'm pretty sure the recipe is going to need a lot more than that, but that's a start. Okay, 5 gives us 12. Okay. And how much do we need for the balloon for 1? 50! Okay. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna need to give them access to this same area of wild brambles up here, which is going to require that I put in a dynamite here, which can be done from either district, but will almost certainly be done from the main one. That will allow me to put in a staircase, and then that will help solve a lot of our problems. It's not going to make them perfect, but it will help solve the problems. Let's go ahead and put in, I always forget, this thing's on the far left. I just need a glorious, that's the wrong thing, the glorious storage for the medium cauldron. That should be viable. I did, okay, good, I did put this back down to 18 hours. I was a little worried there. Oh, hey, this finally has water in it. What a concept, huh? Okay. I'll stop being bitter about it. Just triple speed. Ugh, man. What a time, huh? Just as soon as we get these green peas in here. Where do I have a green pea storage? I actually... Oh, I've got one right here. Okay, that needs to be prioritized there. I probably need to have a larger storage to begin with, but... At least we can make fried rice. It is not quite as bleak as it seems, folks. You know, things are slowly improving. Very slowly improving, but they are improving. Just as best and as fast as we can. Everything else should be fine. Oh, I told... well, I'm never going to need to import clay. Why should I try? Okay, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. It's fine. So, I'm pretty confident saying now that we are just about perfectly set up, comparatively speaking, compared to the beginning of this episode. Couldn't have gone a whole lot better. It definitely could have gone better, but it couldn't have gone a whole lot better. I feel pretty good about this. So, while we're waiting for this bad tide to be over, let's go ahead and do our end of episode fun stuff, and then we'll get you out of here a little sooner than the 90-minute episodes I've been doing the past week. Try to keep it shorter when I can, because I know not everybody likes those long ones. But I really do appreciate you guys watching this series. I know it continues to be a very slow process, sometimes a very frustrating process, but we're making good progress. We finally have a second district for some of this stuff. And look at that, we've got the Folktales balloon. It just, you know, can't go anywhere yet. But we will get there. Slowly. But we will get there. We'll get everything taken care of. And I think you guys are really going to like where this series continues to go as we get other stuff accomplished. But like I said, can't do it without your support. Beard Boosters already know, but those are the folks that make it truly possible to keep doing these videos each and every single day. And they've been taking a long time lately. The past couple of the Iron Teeth videos I've spent about 7 hours on, between recording and then waiting for the computer to render 4 hours of video down into 10 minutes in the actual final thing. It takes a lot of time, and it's because of that support that I can justify continuing to spend this much time playing a video game online with everybody, even though, you know, it is technically my job at this point. There are other things that I do need to attend to, and those folks make it a little bit easier to spend the time, and also to say no to sponsors for stuff that just is completely unrelated. It's like, I don't need to sell you frozen food or sketchy weird therapy sessions or whatever. I just want to have a good time playing the game, and those folks make it possible, and generally contribute to a really, what I think at least is a really positive, helpful, just enjoyable time that we get to spend with each other, playing with some beavers on the internet. So, I digress. We still have a day and a half left in the bad tide, so let's take a quick look at how everything else is progressing. Still just need the clay for this, but that should be imported pretty soon. Hopefully, if these guys can get around to it. I don't think that's going to be an issue for too much longer. But if it is, we'll force it. That's fine. Not going to run out of water. We have 1,600. Even though I have paused most of the pumps, we have been doing very, very well otherwise. No need to really be concerned. Things are slowly creeping back in here so we can keep making fried rice. But the green peas definitely need to be expedited. We need to be growing a lot more of them over here. And that is going to require dynamite, which we will eventually get to. Let's beaver boom this. Get ourselves a staircase. So now, even though these are not connected, we can still access everything we need to access. This guy is... that's not the right one. There's nobody working here. I wonder how that happened. But yes. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is I forgot to put a beaver shower in this guy. That's gonna be a fun problem to deal with. But let's just go ahead, put in a river bath here. They're not gonna use it while it's poison, but I will. I'll have to have this paused until then. Just gotta get these little tiny things taken care of. I know they can't access this yet. I'm gonna move it once these other ones are taken care of. But I just wanted to make sure that these would actually get off to a decent start, even if we do have to wait to have all 50 before they do even the slightest bit of trading with the folktales. So we are going to have to get a steady supply of bramble flowers. I'm hopeful that having these close by is going to make that possible. Just going to take some time. So, lumberjack flag here will reach all of these pretty quick. And, of course, once this guy is finished, taking all of these out, then, well, that's going to be what that's going to be. But we only have a, 25% of a day left until we can get all the clean water coming back through here, get our water numbers up, and hopefully, get some food for these guys in here, because this is looking a little rough. They're not hungry yet, though. They're all looking good. Oh, those balloons go different directions, even though the arrow's facing the same way. Well, at any rate, clean water is clean, or clean enough for me to go ahead and plop that all the way back up. This is just about ready to do the same. Looks like that is going to be just fine, so down we go. Bring it on in, turn these things, get this factory staffed again, get these water pumps going, although I really... Oh, there's nobody here because I have 43 vacancies. We don't have that many dirty beavers, right? Okay, well, this river bath now needs to be built. That is now priority number 1. This is still waiting on clay. I did not think that was going to be an issue. I guess I have to force import clay. Alright, well, that's fine. And of course, once that's in place, that'll be good to go. But yeah, we're doing the dang thing. We just have to get more water in here. Got to get our beaver numbers better, but we have solved a tremendous amount of very tiny, technically insignificant problems that will make things just a little bit better as we continue. Like, look at all this extra connectivity we have right here. That's really going to make a big difference. Very, very, very big difference. Now we just have to get this floodgate dam constructed, now that that is no longer a safety concern. Remember when I said it was going to end the episode here, and then I didn't? Okay, well, now we're actually going to end the episode. Now these guys can wash themselves appropriately, so on and so forth. It just works. Somehow. Somehow. It just works. Even when it doesn't work, it just works. Sometimes life is like that too. But I'm not a philosopher. I'm a guy who plays with beavers on the internet. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we will see you again very soon for more beavers and some roller coasters and all the other fun stuff in between. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.